This over there. We should be ready to go.
Let's do it.
Great.
You as well. Nice to see you. We have about 6 days into 2025, and I understand we're going through RFIs and submittals today. So let's get after it.
Yes, we will be covering how to enter RFIs, how to enter submittals, how to manage the dates, the statuses, how to assign reviewers, and then how to export some of the data into a PDF, just in case we want those submittal logs or RFI logs outside of the system as well. So I'm sure we'll have some people jumping in here, but we have this recorded. So if anyone needs it, we will be sure to send it out.
Sounds good.
Okay. So I know a lot of our power sessions to date have been more around the financial track of ProNovos. We're going to be alternating some of these power sessions over the next couple months. Half of them will be on the financial track, half of them will be on our operations side of things into the project management side of it. So be on the lookout for any upcoming power sessions regarding the project management side of it or our financial track. So like we mentioned, today's going to be surrounding the RFIs and submittals specifically today. We'll go through some of the little bit of setup that you can do to help make some of the entry easier for things like the RFIs. And then we'll get into more of the day-to-day management of these two functions within the system. So if you have access to the administrator settings, there are two areas within the RFIs. So there's template categories and then templates. So the template categories are just kind of ways that you can just organize your different RFIs in the system. So you can just create them, you add the text, save it, that's it. The templates are a way if we're constantly creating RFIs for the same kind of information. So we can, assign a template name, we can default a status, schedule impacts, we can organize it with our different categories here. We can pre-populate any question if we find ourselves always asking the same thing to the customer, the owner, or whomever we would be generating the RFIs for. So if we wanted to create these templates, it just allows for you to preload attachments in here, put a message in here, just to help cut down on some of the actual entry into each individual record. Okay, so let's cancel there because that's really all any administrator settings for both of these two areas of the system. So when we're looking into the project management side of it, we're just going to start off by clicking into whichever job we're going to be entering these documents or just managing them, which would open up our overview page. From there on the left-hand side, quick note, there is a mobile app that goes along with the project management side of it. So while it may not look the exact same within the app, the functionality is going to be the same. Once you load into the app, click the job, then you'll see all the different documents that you can pick from as well. So if we click into our RFIs on the left-hand side, we would be shown all the RFIs that we've created in ProNovos by default. So if we wanted to filter any of these out based on this status field, we can do that. But if we wanted to create one from scratch, just going to find the button at the top. It says create new. And then what it's going to do is just basically walk you through each of the different fields that you guys can enter into this particular RFI. So in this case, it's going to auto assign an RFI number, just be sequential for each job. So if you did want to change it, you can. Otherwise, it'll just go in numerical order. I know some people prefer to throw the job number at the front of it. So if you so choose, you could put that job number in there. That way you at least have some sort of reference when looking at these documents outside of ProNovos, right? Title, whatever our RFI title is going to be for this particular one. we can just put in our concrete slab. Now status, we have a couple options. We have draft, open, and close. Draft is just kind of something we're internally putting together. We're not officially sending it out of the system just yet. Open is going to be once we're ready to send this out, we'll put it in the open status, and then close once we have our answer. Once we've wrapped up this particular document, we can then mark it as closed. Okay, so we're going to set it to open. If we have any references for any drawings or spec sections, they're just free-form text fields, so we can type in, a number there, location, another. All the ones with the star are going to be your required fields, so you don't have to fill these in. Location, if you have one. Schedule impacts, basically your yes, no, whether there is going to be a schedule impact or a cost impact. We just select one of our options here. Now the author is going to be who is creating the document. They're received from. Now, if we were receiving this RFI from one of our contacts on the job, we can select it here, and then who we want to assign it to. We're going to pick Jack as who we're assigning this document to. Now, this doesn't have to be a user of ProNovos. And actually, I'm going to sidetrack for just a second. Within the job itself, in the team tab, you can assign your different contractors or customers or owners down the bottom half here, and then any individual contacts that we want to put for that particular company, we can list them out here. What that allows you to do is in each of those assigned to or received from, you can pick those individual contacts. So the author is going to be a ProNovos user, received from or assigned to can be an external contact that's listed within the job. Okay. Then if we wanted to see anyone.
Just clarify if there may be questions.
Sure.
Up the directory opposed to contacts, this will pull directly from contacts. Is that correct?
Yes, this will actually pull from both users and contacts. So anything in the directory or within the job itself here, you would be able to it mostly from the job here, which contacts you're able to pick from.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that question pop up a few times, so I just want to clarify.
Yep, great. So question, obviously we can ask our question here. Right, we can type it all out, put together what we need to. Attachments, if we want to add anything in here, any images, any other Word documents, anything to help supplement the RFI that's going to help out our cause here. Date submitted, receive date, this can be when we get it back. If we send the question out, we get our answer, we can then mark when we received our responses. And then when we're looking for our response, so if we're saying we want 7 days for us to get a response, it'll automatically pick up from the date submitted, add 7 days to give us our due date. Okay. Now, we don't have to send it out right away. If this is just maybe it's just for internal purposes, we can just save it. But if we wanted to send out this document to those listed out here, we can hit compose and save or send email. What you'll also see is an add reply. So let's say we did save this, and then we have our RFI in here as an open status. It's not overdue, so that's why you don't see the overdue being filled out here, but you do see when these are due. So if I wanted to click into it and we do get a response back, we would be able to take those responses and we can copy and paste those directly in here. Now, there is a checkbox for the official response. So if there is some back and forth, you can at least copy and paste those replies in here. And then once you have your official response, you can mark it here. And that way, you know, these are the back and forth. This is the official response to our question out to the contractor, owner, whomever. Okay.
I like it nice and easy. So the assigned to will get an email right away, and then they can then go in and reply and see what's going on.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And then once we get our answer, we want to close this out. Oh, that's because I have this. If I want to close this out, we can say, all right, we've got this, we received it. Let's just fast forward to Friday. and say, okay, we received it then, we want to close it out. That way you can keep all your track. Now you notice when you do mark it as closed, you can't edit the fields. So if you are seeing it like this, and you do want to make some changes, you can just change it back to that open status, and then it allows you to manage those fields again. Okay. So one last thing on the RFIs, and we'll jump to submittals. You'll find that they're very similar to one another. But once you have your list here, if you do want to get an RFI log, just everything that's on the page here, you can always click the little PDF button up top, and it'll give us a document like this, in which case a pretty cool feature of the RFI log specifically is that you can click into the title, and it'll actually open up that RFI directly within ProNovos. So if you do have this saved on your computer or somewhere else that's not in ProNovos, you can always click into it and access those RFIs directly from that PDF file. Okay. So let's switch gears here to our submittals. The submittals, like I said, are going to be in practice pretty similar to the RFIs, just at a general level. So when you create them, you can add your titles, status, same three options there, specs, location, types. You do have your options for what type of submittal. So just another way to organize these as well. Who the author is, who received it. The one difference here with the submittals is whoever I pick as our assignee, I can pick multiple assignees for this. So if I were to save this one here, we'll put it in an open status, and we've got all our required fields filled out. So let's say we save all this the way it is. Maybe it's not ready to go, or maybe we do, enter in any clarification information, any attachments. We save it. A couple things you can do with submittals specifically is if I go into that specific submittal, a couple things. You can create a revision which allows you to track any changes from the original document for any particular revision. So if I do click the create revision here, it's just giving you a historical, audit, if you will, for if we need to change status, if we need to change any spec sections or types or anything else, we can make those changes and save it as our revised version of the submittal. Okay. One other thing, if I go back without creating a revision, is for those assignees, they are part of our reviewer process. So right now we have 2 people assigned as a reviewer of the document. You have a response for either of them. So if Denver says, yep, this is good, and we have Garrett who says, nope, this is not good, what you'll see here, this current revision status will say rejected. Even though we have 1 approved, 1 rejected, what it's going to do is default to the most negative or severe response. So if I had 6 people and 1 of them rejected it, it's going to say the current response status is rejected. So if you do have multiple reviewers, until they both have, approved, or all of them have approved, it will then show that status as approved. Okay, so we can notate our response, pick our date for each one of these, and any additional comments we can put in there as well. If I want to put any attachments per that individual reviewer, I can, or if you wanted to remove any individual from the reviewer process, you can just highlight that name, click the trash can on the right-hand side, and now we've just got the 1 reviewer in here. Or if we want to add more to it, we can do that as well. Okay. Similar to the RFIs, you can filter them, you can put them out to a PDF. Now this one, does not have the drill down capability to it. But this will give you a nice summarized version of all the submittals that exist for that particular job. What the current response is, the status, the dates, when they're due. You'll have kind of all that summarized information here. Okay, so
we do have the ability to download individual ones, correct? On the far right.
yes. So if you hover over any of them, you can click the PDF option on the far right, and it'll download that PDF version of the official submittal here. Now notice if you guys have your logo uploaded into ProNovos, it'll replace this one with your own logo at the top. Right.
Nice and easy.
Pretty simple. So we can open it up. I think we have a couple of questions here. Explaining what this might look like in Procore if you haven't synced with Procore. So anyone that has the Procore sync enabled with the ProNovos jobs in here, now this will allow you to click on it and be able to view the information for that particular document. It does not allow any editing. It will not go back to Procore to edit this information. Now, one thing you can do is if you have a submittal created within ProNovos, and I want to link it to one of the Procore submittals, in this case, you can turn that sync on, and then what you can do is pick a ProNovos or a Procore submittal here. So if I wanted to, so let me save it like this, and then I can pick a Procore submittal that I want to link this one to. Same thing with RFIs. If you click into it, you can Procore sync it, and you can link it to one of the existing Procore documents. That way, you at least have some sort of link. So if this is number 7, I can link it to number 7 on the Procore side, and then I can then save that, and then all the information from that Procore document will exist in here as well. So great question. One other question, are we able to run RFI? Right at the moment, let me think about this. I believe the answer to this, let me check something real quick before I answer. I believe at the moment, the way that the submittals and RFIs, as far as lists are concerned, they are going to be project specific. So even on that overview page, any RFIs or submittals or even punch lists that are created within ProNovos, you can click there and it would take you to that summarized page. But right now it would be job specific as opposed to a global view of all the documents within the system. All right. Any other questions, Garrett? Anything that you want to add to?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward, user friendly, and we encourage more people to get in there. Spend some time and just reach out if you have any additional questions. Happy to help.
Yes, absolutely. And like we mentioned at the beginning of the power session, our next power session is going to be on the 21st around creating custom reports in the system. And then after that, our next one is going to be on, I believe it's daily reports and photos on the 4th of February. So we're going to alternate project management power sessions and then financial power sessions as well. So be on the lookout for invites for those. And if nothing else, no other questions. We hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. We'll see you for report building. It's fun.
All right. All right, guys. Have a good one. And we'll, like I said, we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks all. Bye.
Bye.